Hello and welcome back to Father-of-Two Plays Pillars of Eternity. We were just about to make our way over to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries when we stopped to see what are they called? Scribe? No, Scrivener is. I know what a scribe is. I didn't know what a Scrivener was. Apparently they write books and take notes, that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's a Scrivener right there. Let's head inside. You can change how much metagame information is displayed via the
all these pages serve
conversation.
And fuel for the fire.
What does that mean? I just wanted to take a look at that. Developer commentary. Oh, cool. Okay. Menu? No. Difficulty? No. No knockout injuries? No, none of that's what I'm looking for. Graphics? No. Controls? I don't know what that's about. But maybe it would show us what we get for our conversation options. I'd rather not know, maybe. Johnny Hauka? You see nothing at first, inky darkness filling your vision, the dust of aeons flooding your nose. You hear a strike, and a torch gutters into flame, revealing a man without a face and a library of books flickering in the dull orange glow. He moves to the closest shelf, sliding the torch into a socket, and gingerly pulls a black-bound book into his trembling hands. He flicks through it lovingly, caressing each page before turning to the next and the next. Finally, he finishes, placing the book in a satchel to his side, and takes down the torch. He spends hours wandering, reading, collecting, until his satchel is as thick as he himself, and half as heavy, and begins to make his way back to the entrance. With barely an audible sigh, he draws two decaying doors closed, and the torch is extinguished. Huh. Welcome to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Do you have anything to say?
Greetings.
Oh, you're a lady. The woman, Fexa, the woman barely glances up from the tomes on the table as you approach. You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind that you keep your voice down. This is still a temple after all, and Grimda doesn't tolerate disorder. Well, tell me about yourself. She throws her broad shoulders back. I am a Scrivener and a devotee of Wile. It's my duty to look after our records and resources. Her chest swells with pride. Anything else? This is a temple? It looks like a library. Her eyes grow wide and round. That's because it is. Wile is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. She raises her hand to the rows of shelves. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. To think that there's such a place in the Deerwood. Incredible! I'd love a glimpse of the archives. How many secrets must sit upon these shelves? That really didn't answer my question. No, that's fascinating. Isn't it? Temples dedicated to Wile tend to hold vast stores of knowledge. We use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the world. Who's Grimda? Fexa speaks reverently. Why, she's the High Archivist. She's one of the most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing about it. Almost nothing, anyway. She scratches behind her ear. You should probably tread lightly around her today. Farewell. Well, this seems like a good time to look at this deity. Wile. God of secrets, revelations, illusion, cryptography, obfuscation, perception, dreams, and visions. While is, in and of itself, a mystery with no consistent form or gender. Its followers revel in the acts of creating and unraveling mysteries. So, are we gonna be... Is it gonna be... Yeah, okay. That means we're stealing. Fair enough. Well, let's take a look around, then. No entry into the archives without Grimda's permission. Okay, where's the archives? Is that here? Or is that... it must be that one. Elder Archives, yeah. That must be where we need to go for... our friend Kana. What's this say? The Travels of Errol of Levi, 2662 to 2680, question mark. Records of books borrowed and returned fill the cubbyholes. Let's check this one. Hello. These books on the shelves cover the history and mythology of Old Valia. These titles all refer to Glanfathan mathematics and advanced geometry. The symbols on these pages writhe and shift. They're dizzying to look at. So it's stealing to check out all of these? Yes, it is. Keep searching. The obscured leaves clues for those who seek. So that's Grimda. Whoa. What is that? Impossibly, this painted eye seems to move whenever you turn your back. Huh. Well, let's speak with Grimda.
Friend.
An elderly dwarf surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and wrinkled as walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glare. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. What are they looking for? Maybe I could find it. She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose. She scowls at the robed priest again. You certainly couldn't do worse than this lot, anyway. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of wile. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and a road to Deerford. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Wile rewards the persistent seeker, and so do I. An ancient scroll of wile. There's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. What else do you need? I'd like to know more about the missing scroll. Ask. It seems odd that a few burglars managed to steal from a place like this. Grimda huffs and squares her shoulders. Some secrets Wile even keeps even from me. Tell me what you know about the thieves. Very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the God of Secrets, and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. How should I handle the thieves? However you can, kill them, rob them, leave them. It makes no difference to me. She waves a hand and smiles grimly. I'll consider it one of Wile's mysteries. What's so special about this scroll? Wile is the God of Secrets. If I told you that, I'd cheapen it, wouldn't I? She cackles. It's a parable, the kind that nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. Okay, let's talk about something else. Tell me about yourself. I am the High Archivist of Hall of Revealed Mysteries. She coughs loudly into her fist. And I am too old and too busy to be bothered with inane questions. Even just one or two? Ha! Oh. I'd like to know more about Wile. Her smile reveals a row of crooked teeth. That's the rub, isn't it? While is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more of the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Weil he who sees and is not seen, it is neither male or female. To assign any definitive characteristic to Weil is to miss another essential part of its divinity. The 100 visions? A term of reverence for Weil's many revelations. Despite the name, they're infinite. Each epiphany leads to yet another enigma. Farewell. So, what about our mission for Kana? That's a task. Quests. No, that's for Eder. Ah. No, that's the ruins. The long hunt. Oh, do I not have to do it? Or did I miss out on it? Hold on. The long hunt, time and tide. Okay, I thought that he needed to come here. I seem to be mistaken. Alright, well, or maybe it's transferred into this quest to find the scroll. Anyway, we're not going to rob the place, and there's nothing but scriveners and these couple of people to talk to, so we'll head out. I wonder where to next. Maybe the Ducal Palace? I can't really say. There's an exit. Should we just... I don't know if we came through here. But I feel like we should walk this way past the catacombs before we leave. I don't know that it's a good idea, but we'll do it anyway. This city is so big. It took me forever in Baldur's Gate to finally go to Baldur's Gate. Then I spent a very long time there. You were so lovely back then. Ooh. Dalton, let's speak, my man. This elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are the dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down 2 at a time, we shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? The man looks up at you, startled. By the flame! For just a moment I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth and the Northwatch Rangers, trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about these memories. It has been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepen. That was until we faced Helig of Thine. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled towards the Valian republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat, not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rowena, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. Who's Rowena? My friend, my comrade in arms, and my love. We'd planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortunes. Young as we were, we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her, a voice just over my shoulder calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damn near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for a sign of Rowena. I've seen a lot of weird stuff, man. I tend to believe you. Tears spring to the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southwest of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You are truly a gift from the gods, if there's anything you can find of her. I was hoping I'd have a reason to go in the catacombs. Action, adventure, and steel on steel. The stuff of legends. Right, Ruffy? Right, undead cat? Well, we'll walk past and this way first, but I think we'll head down there and do that. That sounds like a job for Halcyon. Psst, over here, missy. You're gonna try and lure me into a trap, aren't you? Gordy, a young boy, watches the passer-by and counts a grimy handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes a quick, furtive effort to pocket his coins. Death Godlike. Ah, okay, because I am one. The boy stares at you, his mouth hanging open. After several seconds frozen in silence, he waves a hand. Can you see me? Do you even have eyes? He snaps out of his trance, but continues to watch you with fascination. Hey, mister, want to know a secret? He wipes his nose with a sleeve. I know a real good secret. Looks like we got a little hustler over here. Someone raised this kid right. Really? What is it? He shrugs and clasps his hands behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. I just saw folk hiding some really neat things. I could show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers. His eyes slowly roll up at you. But maybe you could help me with something. Then we wouldn't be strangers. Help you with what? Gordy's voice suddenly rises in pitch and tempo. The Crucible Knights have these daggers made out of March steel. It's the best steel around except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore. He stops long enough to catch his breath. Anyway, there's this merchant over by the expedition hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know a lot about daggers. I know about the different kinds of steel. I know about how the Crucible Knights make them in a forge. I know how the tip can pierce low-gauge scale armor, and that one that's good and sharp can cut through bone. Sorry about the stumble there. See, I know plenty about daggers, and I really want this one, and if you could just get it for me, I promise I'll never ask anyone for anything ever again. March steel? The lad has good taste. I only ever had a little shark stickers as a child, mostly for oysters. Still, managed to poke a hole through my palm once. Wow, grab Gordy by the shirt and hold him above your head? That's rude. Is it a good idea? Would I want somebody giving my son a dagger? I'd want my son to know how to use it, and he seems smart. Yeah, you're too young to play with knives. I'm sure your parents told you that, or you wouldn't be asking me. But if I'm going to be a real warrior, I have to start training young, just like the heroes in the stories. I just know I was a great warrior in a previous life. My mom even says I have an old soul. Fine, I'll help you. Gordy jumps up and down, whooping and hollering. Yay! I knew a real adventurer would understand. He points to a large building. There's a big merchant over by Adma's Den who sells weapons. He's the one with the dagger. I'll wait right here for you. His gap-toothed grin stretches from ear to ear. Well, I don't know. At his age, I would hope that my son would know how to deal with a knife because I would have taught him. As you near... Oh, right, we already know that. We'll reach out for his soul. You see a man crosses his arms and sticks out his chin out. Moonlight and torchlight color his face. Bullshit! The elf standing in front of him wears a panicked expression. Are you mad? I've seen it! Aha! The first man cries, raising a triumphant finger. You just said you'd only heard it. The elf blinks. What in the name of Galawain's beast does that have to do with anything? You said you'd only heard it. Now you're telling me it's a monster the size of 2 Aumau with blood-dyed fur. The man takes a step closer to the elf. And now I'm saying you're a liar, Doran. Doran sputters. Gods, Viserys, who cares what it looks like? It's a rabid wolf. You saw what it did to the sheep. The elf throws up both of his hands, shaking his head. You want to stay out here all night to see if the thing yourself? Have it your way. I'm getting out of here. Fine. All right. Good. The elf storms off, casting one last glance over his shoulder as he disappears down a hill. The man sets off in the other direction, a sword in one hand, a torch in the other. Within minutes, he comes to a broken paddock where a dozen sheep lie dead, their throats torn and their innards scattered across the ground. It is not the work of a normal predator. Something crunches through the dry grass. Viserys spins but sees nothing. He raises his torch higher. This time a rustling sound from behind him near the paddock. He turns again to see a wolf. It's not nearly as large as Doran had sworn, and while its fur is matted with red around its throat and paws, the rest of the elf's description is proven to be rather lurid exaggeration, typical. Viserys takes some small satisfaction in this even while the wolf lunges for him, its jaws foaming and eyes rolling. A rabid wolf, I guess. Like I said, a lone wolf is not a happy wolf. Wolves like to be in their packs. A lone wolf is very dangerous. A wolf pack, I guess, could be dangerous as well, but they tend to eat a lot of rodents and easy game. They don't go after people unless they're...
Welcome!
Unless they seem very easy to take down. A wolf won't risk himself or his pack unless it has to. I'm looking for a particular dagger made of March steel. Just like the Crucible Knights use, let me guess. You've been talking to that kid, right? He laughs and shakes his head. I'd be tempted to sell it to you anyways and let the little rascal learn his lesson, but a pack of adventurers already took it off my hands. If March steel daggers only given to Crucible Knights, how did you get your hands on one? Ygritte pauses mid-polish, his claw slowing over the blade. A lot of steel passes through my hands, friend. I don't make it my business to ask where it all comes from. I'm not trying to get you into trouble, but you should be careful about what you trade and whom you trade with. Trafficking in stolen goods is risky. He grunts. Meh. Appreciate the concern, but there's no need to worry. I keep my nose clean enough. Tell me more about the dagger. He oils the cloth in his hands. Made out of a high-purity iron ore that comes out of the White March Mountains. Traditionally, the smiths at the Crucible Keep have smelted it into daggers and swords, which they only give out to the Crucible Knights, or Knights of the Crucible. Of course, I'd be surprised if that kid didn't already tell you all this. He grins. Those adventurers you sold the dagger to, where are they now? Folk like that only visit Copper Lane to crew up at Adma's Den Expedition Hall, or down a pint at the Goose and Fox, and since they weren't headed into the den, well, you got my best guess. Okay. Let's go ask them about it. Something secret. Still don't know if this is the right thing to do, but he sounds like he knows his stuff anyway. He knows more than me. Actually, he could be telling me all lies, but that guy concurred with the young man, so I think he's telling the truth. So they're in here somewhere, I would guess. No? Are you here for some words of wisdom, too? No. Well, where are they? Oh, upstairs, maybe. Maybe. Dreadshot Daden, Hurdy, Two-Tone Wexel. Ilfa, Key. Okay, let's talk to Dreadshot. Dyden is busy filling a spur off a small round bullet. Filing, not filling. There's only one L in that. Hurdy. A burly Aumau raises a hand in greetings. Ilfa. Ilfa nods at you, a pint in one hand and a mace slung over her shoulder. Key. The Orland woman nods at you, a cup of wine in her hand and a scepter across her lap. Two-tone Weichsel. An Orland man relaxes with his feet propped on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orland woman with him exchange laughs and comments with the trio at a nearby table, and he spins a dagger in his hand. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink? Who are all of you? The name's Two-Tone Wexel. The lady next to me is Key. We've had our fun with the expeditions, but we were hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet, for the next few weeks anyway. A man at the next table nods at you. I am Dreadshot Dyden. This is Hurdy and Ilfa. We were part of a separate expedition teams, but we both suffered losses and decided to band together. He ticked several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, BOX. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one, too. At the next table, Dyden raises his glass. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted? Did you buy a March steel dagger from Igran? He displays the blade on a flat palm. I did, and a fine piece it is. I don't know of any more circulating in the city outside the steel in the Crucible Keep, of course. I was trying to get it for a kid named Gordy. He blinks and kicks his feet off the table. A kid? This isn't a toy, you know. Get him a wooden sword. The Orland woman leans over and punches his arm. Come on, Weichsel. If our friend here is willing to pay, what's the harm? Plenty, actually. That kid'll probably poke his eye out. Besides, I plan to use this dagger. That's sooner than you expected, I'll bet. Yeah, right. How much would it take for you to change your mind? He turns the blade in the light, admiring it. Seeing as how there's a sudden demand for this, 100 pans seems fair. We could attack him again. Actually, I'll take it for free. Intellect 12. Demand isn't as high as you think. Chances are good that the dagger was stolen or looted off one of the knights. In that case, I'm probably doing you a favor. He frowns. Well, can't be too careful around the authorities these days, especially as an Orland. Fine, I'll sell it, but not for less than 50. I'm getting my money back at the very least. Deal. He hands you the dagger, hilt first. Pleasure doing business with you. Is there something else? No, we're done. Alright. Let's check the rooms, though, because I don't think I came up here last time. Is there a door over here? There is not. Well, let's read these guys' stories. You see a man standing on a dock. Sailors, soldiers, and prostitutes swarm around him, but he's watching the ship disappearing over the horizon. He should be glad his men didn't take his life along with his ship, but failure is almost as bad as death for a Balian, and the gods only know he hadn't fared any better in his family's mercantile business. It's almost a relief to see the last herald of his failures sail into the distance, sparing him the need to go back to his father and admit defeat once again. Besides, with his sharp wits and an eye for opportunity, there's always a chance for a comeback. He pulls a flask from his hip and takes a long drink. There will be time for that later. He adjusts the flap of his eye patch and finds the tower of the brothel. He plots a new course for the evening, a grin on his face. Oh, sorry, what was his name? I didn't look. Harad Raoul? Ashani Glynn. You see a group of people standing on a clear patch of earth, surrounded by several motionless bodies. On the ground in the middle of the group is a small figure, curled up to protect itself from the kicking feet of the people standing around it. This woman is there, apart from the group, holding an enormous sword. She leans on it, using it almost like a crutch. hunched over and breathing heavily. She stares at the people and grunts, pulling herself upright and lifting the sword from the ground. She draws in a large breath, leans into a run, and quickly closes the distance between herself and the group. A blood-chilling howl suddenly explodes from her. The mob freezes mid-kick and stares at the terrifying bull of a woman now charging it. She jumps at the last second, bending slightly, turning herself into a projectile, flying into the middle of the people, assaulting the figure on the ground. Everyone topples as she flies into him. She hits the ground beyond them, rolling, leaping back up, and turns to face them. She plants both of her feet and lifts her sword, surveying the field. Suddenly, she spins on her heels, swinging her sword with savage grace, cutting down the nearest of the assailants. Letting herself get pulled into the momentum of the spin, she brings her sword around, blade sideways, into the head of a would-be opponent. The bottom of the hilt shatters his temple, and he crumples to the ground at her feet. She looks up, rage-filled eyes daring the remaining two men to approach. After a quick sideways glance at each other, they turn heel and run. One briefly looks back over his shoulder, ensuring she isn't following him. She slowly lets out the breath she had been holding, and walks over to help the figure still huddled on the ground. I'm not going to rob the rooms, but we will check for more people to talk to. There's three more. Stories to check out. What's this? The pages of these old books are crisp and fragrant with the salt of a sea breeze. Alright, let's start with Dash Oki. You see a grin slide across the face of a man and onto the face of a woman younger still than he. She moves closer in the tallow light, sure and slow, tasting the anticipation on his tongue, the desire on hers. The candle gutters, sending yellow-brown light sneaking across his multifaceted eyes. She sits back, now all too aware of his luminescent horns and dust-stamped blue skin. His otherness leaves her breathless, but from fascination or horror you cannot tell. He reaches across a hand, trailing the line of her jaw, sibilant whispers snaking through the air, tempting, cajoling. Something in her breaks, and his grin slides back as he extends his tongue to lick the curve of her throat, pausing a hair's breadth from her flesh. "The thing we spoke of, your husband. I shouldn't, he'd be ruined," a faint protest. The man wags his forefinger at her, tisking playfully, tracing a line with the finger down the length of her torso, causing her to writhe. He stops it just short. She gasps. "No fair, that's cheating," she pouts, childlike. "Not if we make the rules." The man winks, and he resumes his stroke. Bur Akaira. You see a firm hand scribing notes from an ancient, surprisingly sturdy-looking tome. Script precise, pictures small but clear. The monk runs his fingers across the paper lightly, page after page, searching for something. The script is ancient, almost illegible, but he perseveres, scrawling stacks and sheaves of notes, transcribing the book into something more comprehensible. Suddenly he starts scribbling hastily, eyes wild, pen a blur across the newly ink-splattered page. With a start, he pushes out from the desk and closes the tome, sending waves of dust to coast down about the room, and grins widely. He hurries to the exit, notes piled under his arm, and a new adventure on his mind. Lexcanium McCrieg. You see a man praying soundlessly on the ground, lips moving to some ancient and unknowable hymn. Lying in his hands, his sword sputters into blinding white light, banishing the darkness around him instantly to lurk in corners and shelves. He opens his eyes slowly, continuing his silent prayer as he adjusts to the new light, his face tight with concentration. He stands and begins to move deliberately towards an enormous iron door, strange symbols inscribed upon its rusted surface. His prayer gets louder, gains substance as he gets closer. Blue eyes burn with fervor as the glowing tip of the sword touches the center of the door and slides through. White light spreads across its surface, symbols flaring into life as the paladin chants. A gentle tone sounds ringing through the ancient structure, and the door begins to open. The symbols have disappeared along with the rust, and the paladin steps through into places unknown, bearing a light he is only now beginning to understand. Alright. Well, let's bring this child this dagger. When I say it out like that, it doesn't sound like the right thing to do. I think he's, what, 4 or 5? Can't remember when I got my first knife. But I was responsible. We should at least give him a scabbard, right? I'm wondering if I should give my monk a weapon. It's usually not the best idea. Actually, let's go this way, because I don't know if we ever walked across here. Looks like an amphitheater. What is happening here? Kadal. Can't talk right now. Your time has come, Sigrun. Your life is at an end. Lumdala. The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and a razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hand up in dramatic fashion. Autographs after the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. What is the Revel of Stars? We are the finest theater troupe in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. She looks at the amphitheater with rapturous expression. We stage our performances right here in Copper Lane for the edification of all. I suppose I could spare a moment for a fan. Does the Revel of Stars take in many new members? But of course, good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. What kind of members do you take? We'll take in the new and old, the tall and small, the experienced and inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fulfill a role to the utmost. How long do you keep members? As long as they are able to satisfy the demands of their roles. She smooths a wayward strand of hair. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. I'd like to ask something else. What do you do? I didn't read what she had to say there. Hold on. Very well. If you happen to know any aspiring thespians, please send them my way. Her lips stretch into a hungry smile. We always have a good place for novices. Oh, that depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays a slender hand on her chest. I am the Pallid Knight, the Widow of the Wood, the Warrior Queen Mogka. All at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. Oh, Lofton. Oh, I didn't read it. And you have such poor luck with women as it is. I cannot die. My children. What of my children? Hi, guys. Doing a play? But you have no children. Of course I do, you fool. A wealth of them. Great armfuls of golden... That is, golden-haired tots. All of them, who I love dearly. Yeah, okay. Ha! Is it over? Okay. Looks like that's all we're getting for now. Cool, though. They got a play going on. I didn't actually expect that. Especially in the middle of what seems to be night. Ah, I can look at the time. Day 18, hour 25. How many hours are in a day in this place? Must be more than 24. Unless I'm, like, wrong in how I'm interpreting that, which is very possible. Right, I could speed things up. I always forget about that. Gordy bounces on the pavement. Did you get it? Do you have the dagger? Can I see it? I have the dagger right here. Gordy stops bouncing and stares at it, gaping in awe. It's so sharp. Oh, cool. Survival 4. Slowly hold out the dagger, pommel first. Listen first. When you're not using it, keep it sheathed or it will rust. Don't show it off or someone's going to take it away from you, or worse, it's a weapon, not a toy. Understand? Gordy's hand trembles as he restrains himself from snatching the dagger away. He nods, holding the dagger in its sheath. I'll take good care of it, I promise. I'll see that you do. So about that secret. Gordy puts his hands up to his mouth and whispers loudly. I saw one of the actors hide something under a loose stone near the theater. Probably nothing as good as Mark's steel dagger, though. Thank you for telling me, Gordy. Bye! So let's head over, and I guess we will use our scouting.
Keeping an eye out.
There it is.
And the fire shows me something new.
Oaken scarab figurine? 1 use, 1 per rest. Summon 3 times wood beetle. This wooden beetle has had lifelike detail carefully burned into the carved shell. Tiny barbs are etched into its legs, and its folded wings bear mazy patterns. Weird, okay. Kind of reminds me of, what is it, 1 per rest, we can summon 3 wood beetles. It reminds me of the statue that Driz Drowerden, or Drowerden, can never remember what it is, has, that turns into a black panther. Blackson. A common sight in the Deerwood, Blackson is fashioned from Sonreed liquor and the boiled sap from Glanfathan trees, is known to lend a sense of heightened alertness to the user, though it leaves one feeling worn and lethargic once it wears off. Huh.
Hey.
I'm most interested in this beetle, so it goes in the quick slots. Guess we'll give it to Kana?
Hey.
Crazy. Alright, also not what I expected, but I'm glad I was able to give the kid a little advice on how to use the dagger. That makes me pleased. Also, where are this kid's parents? It's pretty late. Skinflint. That's a funny name. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, her hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as a customer enters, a disheveled young noble, once white doublet, stained with life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit, before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head, emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling panicked in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger. To the dwarf's ill-concealed delight, a few more coins go on the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his two sharp teeth as he examines his haul. Alright, so what's down here? If it reaches 0, the character will be maimed or killed. Okay, good to know. That's about the health. Okay, let's get back to normal speed. And a dead initiate. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you as though you were a solitary light in the dank gloom of this place come to usher it away, its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others wait, clothed in hoods and shadows. Sounds not good. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies in the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. So, ogres?
Quickly and quietly.
I might hear an ogre, to be honest. Lesser black ooze. Oh my god! Okay, let's just back up here for a second. Holy frick. Oh my god, troll. Alright. Can we shoot him from here?
What is it?
And let's have Adir reveal himself. Oh my god. Adir, you are a brave man. Let's see if you can knock it down. Wolf, get in there. Let's get everyone going here. Let's give him a wounding shot before we mark him. No, let's just attack for now. Okay. Now that the wounding shot's off, let's mark him. I'm glad we didn't start that fight. We might have ended up in 2 at once. No wounds. Kana's at 2. Oops. Okay, we got 3 chants going, and she's wounded. So, let's use this. Kana. Let's run up here and use that one. The thunder rolled like waves on the Black Sea.
Suck!
See if we can pull him into a fight with you. Nice. Whew. 1 troll down. Let's check our journal about trolls. To the bestiary. Right, so we read about the forest troll. Let's read about the regular troll. These gangly giants stand twice the height of average humans. Their bodies are covered in large fungal growths which leak foul-smelling pus-like fluid. Their oversized hands and feet extend to giant claws capable of rending a man in 2. Dozens of slimy tendrils hang loosely from atop their oversized head, and their vast maws are filled with jagged, razor-sharp teeth. Trolls have long faces, long chins, long noses, and tangled masses of wiry, fungus-infected hair on the top of their heads. They have never been observed to use weapons, tools, or clothing. Looking at a troll, it can be difficult to tell whether they've evolved in harmony with lichen, moss, and fungi, or whether they've been overtaken by them. A troll's naturally clammy flesh provides an ideal growing environment for these plants. They provide camouflage as well as some protection from the elements, and the enzymes they produce also offer limited sustenance for trolls in lean times. Because of their symbiosis with these plants, trolls generally dwell in heavily wooded areas, although some may occasionally be seen in damp underground environments that also house an abundance of lichens and fungi. That one looks like it's wearing clothes.
Then.
They won't see me.
Also, I'm glad we had that vision. It let us know that there was a troll about. More black ooze.
You're not getting through me.
Do what we can here. Okay, quick. Quick death for the black ooze, that's important. Excellent.
Of course.
We should continue sneaking, I think. We don't want to alert anything to our presence before we're ready, right? Just a small black ooze. Good job, guys. Oh, I guess we could have looted the other ones. My bad.
Hey.
Let's go do that. Oh no, maybe they didn't drop anything, or maybe I missed it.
And what does the flame reveal?
Okay, looks like we can go a long ways this direction. Before... oh, traps? Doesn't appear so. Alright. Well... let's decide where to go from here. I'm thinking I forgot to set my timer, but we should go check out those black oozes. I'll end the episode before we go in there, though. Oops. Because I'm pretty sure it's been... I have no clock. Except the one on the computer. But I think it's been probably almost an hour. And I forgot to set my timer, which is my bad. So, until next time, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is Father of Two, signing off.